The no. One foot problem seniors have is actually something that can be prevented very simply. Well, there are many things that you can do to take good care of your feet. There are also some common mistakes that you might be making right now that are causing you to have pain in your feet. So today, I'm going to share with you my top 3 most common mistakes so you can avoid them. As a podiatrist who specializes in treating seniors, I've had the opportunity to treat thousands of patients over the past 25 years. And unfortunately, what I see time and time again are certain mistakes that people make that just cause unnecessary pain and suffering. So I'd like to share those with you today. Now, mistake no. One is actually the most common one, and this is the one that can actually be prevented by doing something very simple, and that is getting regular annual foot exams. As a doctor, when we see a patient, we don't wait for them to tell us why they're there. We ask them why they're there. And it's always interesting because sometimes they don't really know, just want to get their nails cut, or they just want to get their feet looked at. But oftentimes when they come in, we find things that they weren't even aware of. And this is especially true for seniors. As we age, our senses start to diminish. Our eyesight becomes less. Our hearing becomes less. And so it's harder for us to actually see the little changes that are occurring in our feet. When you go see an eye doctor, he can look in your eye and determine whether or not you're having high blood pressure, diabetes, or other problems just by looking inside your eye. That's how our feet are. Our feet tell us a lot about our overall health. If you go see a podiatrist, a foot doctor, he or she will be able to look at your feet and determine if you have circulation problems, if you have nerve problems, if you're diabetic, if you have vascular disease, heart disease, liver disease, kidney disease. All sorts of things that you may not even be aware of can be determined simply by looking at your feet. And this is why it's so important for seniors to get their feet checked at least once a year. Mistake no. 2 is probably more common than mistake no. 1, and that is walking barefoot. Now, I'm not talking about walking barefoot in your own home. I'm talking about going outside of your home and walking barefoot. And this can lead to all sorts of problems, because when you walk barefoot, you can step on something sharp, and then you can have an injury to your foot. And that injury can lead to infection. And if you're a senior, your body doesn't heal as fast as it used to. It's much more difficult for you to fight off an infection. If you get an infection in your foot, it can become chronic, and it can linger for months and months and even years. And this can be very painful, and it can also lead to losing toes, losing part of your foot, or even losing your entire foot. The other thing that can happen if you re-walking barefoot outside is that you can step on something hot, such as hot pavement or hot sand, and you can burn your feet. Again, our sense of touch becomes a little bit diminished as we age, and it becomes harder for us to determine whether or not something is hot or cold or sharp or smooth. So it's very important to wear shoes when you're outside the house. And these shoes should fit properly. Shouldn't be too tight and they shouldn't be too loose. They should fit well. They should be comfortable. And you should wear socks with them so that you have no blisters and that the shoe is not rubbing on your foot.
Mistake no.
3 is wearing shoes that are too small or too tight. And this can be very detrimental to your feet for many reasons. First of all, if you wear shoes that are too tight, you'll have pain. And a lot of times people will wear a small shoe or a tight shoe because they think it's stylish or they think it makes them look better. But in reality, it's causing problems. It's putting pressure on your toes, and it's putting pressure on the nerves on the bottom of your feet. If you wear a tight shoe, it's going to crowd your toes together. It's going to push your toes out of shape. And when you have crowded toes, the big toe comes in and pushes on the side of the foot. This creates all sorts of biomechanical problems. It creates hammer toes. It creates claw toes. It causes the big toe to go out of alignment. It causes the heel to flare out. All sorts of problems occur when you wear shoes that are too tight, and this can lead to permanent damage. Even if you're wearing a shoe that's not too tight, but you've worn it for years and years, the shape of your foot may have changed. The tendons and ligaments have stretched out. And so a shoe that fit you 10 years ago may not fit you anymore. Your foot may have gotten wider. You may have developed a bunion that has made your foot longer. So it's very important to make sure that your shoes fit properly. And that means not only the length of your shoe, but also the width of your shoe. So the next time you go shoe shopping, make sure you bring a tape measure with you. Measure the length of your foot And make sure that whatever shoe you buy, it's at least a ½ inch longer than your foot. Also, make sure that the width of the shoe is appropriate. If you have a wide foot, don't try to jam your foot into a shoe that's too narrow. Wear a wide shoe. Make sure that your shoes are comfortable. If you have any type of foot problem, such as a bunion, hammer toe, claw toe, plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis, Morton's neuroma, make sure that you get shoes that are specifically designed for the type of problem that you have. For example, if you have flat feet, you need an arch support. If you have a high arch, you need a cushion in the heel cup. If you have a bunion, you need a shoe that's specifically made for a bunion. So make sure you get the right shoe for the right reason. Don't wear a shoe because it's pretty or because it matches your outfit. Wear a shoe because it's comfortable and it fits properly. Some of you may say, well, I can't afford to buy new shoes. Well, you can usually find good, comfortable, well-fitting shoes at places like Target and Walmart. You don't have to spend a fortune to get a good pair of shoes. And the other thing you can do is go to a thrift store. A lot of times at thrift stores you can find brand new shoes that people have donated that never even been worn. You can get a brand new pair of shoes for practically nothing. So there's no excuse for not wearing proper shoes. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit the thumbs up button below and leave a comment. Tell me what you thought about the video. Also, please consider subscribing so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. If you have any questions about your feet, please feel free to contact me through the provided email or website. I wish you good health, good feet health, and I'll see you next time. Right.